Dr. Natarajan, Pondicherry University, Colloquium Coordinator Mr. Sina, plenary speakers, teachers and heads of departments from other colleges, professors from the philosophy department, Hindi department, students and teachers of various other colleges, students and teachers of Department of Studies English. Good morning to you all. Welcome to the International Colloquium on Theory and the Transformative Humanities. As you know, the humanities discipline has been at the forefront of intellectual discourse for centuries. Although this is an indisputable fact of history, today there seems to be a growing consensus among educational thinkers and researchers that humanities discipline is in a state of crisis. The debate is on, but there are two dimensions to this debate. On the one hand, great visionaries like Rabindranath Tagore and thinkers like Edward Said, Paul Gilroy have argued that the established traditions of academic freedom, the flexibility of imagination, and the very idea of education have been challenged by a profit-driven agenda which has forced the humanities to seek not philosophical and political, but economic justification for the continued relevance of the humanities. In their view, this pervasive influence of the logic of profit has corroded the university ethos and seeks to overthrow the basic premises of the humanities as a discipline. Martha Nussbaum has characterized this as a silent crisis of global proportions. According to these thinkers, new advances in science and technology that offer the possibility of prolonging human life, destroying human life, and transforming human life artificially challenge the very meaning of what it is to be human. In the face of such a post-human future, they argue, the traditional focus of the humanities on questions of value, on questions of meaning, on questions of ethics are more important than ever before. On the other hand, there are educational thinkers like Mikhail Epstein who believe that the humanities have failed to evolve with society, and the academic offerings are generally seen as belonging to the bygone days when there was no need for specialized skills. Doctors make people better. Lawyers ensure that there is law and order in the society. Sociologists seek political solutions to social problems. But of what use are humanities scholars to the society, they ask. So what we need today is a sustainable humanities, or what is increasingly known as the transformative humanities. A humanities program that can transform cultures, individuals, and the society. This International Colloquium on Theory and the Transformative Humanities is a 3-day event structured around a series of interlinked questions that are inspired by the possibilities of revitalizing the humanities. The questions are, how crucial is the role that art and literature play in human life? How do language and representation impact culture and society? What idea of the human world would be involved in the revised theories and practices of such a transformative humanities? What values and sense of responsibilities are opened up by a post-human perspective? How does history illuminate these concerns? How do conflicting notions of humanity and of what counts as human relate to the numerous instances of exclusion, exile, and dispossession that we see around all of us? How can the teaching and research practices of the humanities account for erased or manipulated histories, absent geographies, forbidden archives, and other instances of organized forgetting? Is the structuralist claim, or rather Professor Culler's claim, that the semiotics can revitalize the humanities still valid? If truth is indispensable, as again Professor Culler has taught us, how do we deal with the category of post-truth epistemologists? The 2 keynotes by Professor Jonathan Culler, 4 plenaries by leading experts in the field, and 26 research presentations would attempt to address these concerns during this colloquium. I'd like to place on record a deep appreciation of the support and assistance of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Kannur University, Professor Gopinath Ravindran, in making this colloquium possible. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor is himself an eminent historian who has literally transformed our idea of what it means to be part of a vibrant university. Within less than a year of his dynamic leadership, Kannur University has developed a strong sense of principle, purpose, and a clearly defined vision for the future. All this he has achieved by placing the experience of students and teachers at the very core of university strategic planning. I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. It's my great honor and pleasure to welcome erudite scholar and today's keynote speaker, Professor Jonathan Culler. It has been a dream come true in so many ways. We were excited when Professor said yes. And I was even more excited when I went with the invitation straight to the Vice Chancellor. Immediately, Vice Chancellor took immediate measures to make sure that the application is processed. Professor Dr. Jonathan Culler is a professor of English and Comparative Literature, Cornell University, United States of America. Professor Culler's scholarship has been widely honored with a number of prestigious awards. He is a senior fellow of the School of Criticism and Theory for the Humanities, and there are too many organizations of which he is a fellow, too many to enumerate here. He has published a substantial number of highly influential books, and some of them continue to be established classics in literary theory today. His books, Structuralist Poetics, On Deconstruction, and The Literary in Theory are indispensable texts in theory today. His book, Literary Theory, has been translated into 28 languages. Professor Culler has always challenged us to question our own assumptions about literature, literary criticism, and about life in general. Please join me in welcoming Professor Jonathan Culler. I also welcome Professor Natarajan, Pondicherry University. I was talking to Professor Culler today. There is an intergenerational meeting going on here. It was in 1989 that we met Professor, and Professor Natarajan is single-handedly responsible for infusing this passion for theory and literature in most of us here. Professor, we are so proud to have you here, and thank you very much for being here. Please welcome Professor Natarajan sir. I also welcome Dr. Babu PK, other plenary speakers, Dr. Harris, Dr. N.P. Ashley, St. Stephen's, Delhi University, Dr. Priyanka Nair, Dr. Sarjan, Dr. Evi Fatima, and other speakers and passengers and delegates from various parts of the country, and teachers and students from other departments and colleges under the universities. Honorable Vice Chancellor insisted that all these people be present, and so we've been able to get in touch with most of these people. I'm very happy to see you all. I extend a warm welcome to all of you. Last but not least, I welcome my dear students in the department, also members of the press, and everybody else, all other participants who are here. Just a couple of things before I sign off. I'm really delighted to report that the last couple of months have been intensely hectic for the students and teachers of our department. The Department Research Forum arranged a series of lectures on the works of Professor Jonathan Culler. Teachers and research scholars interested in literary theory reviewed and critically analyzed each and every book, starting with his monumental book, Structuralist Poetics, published in 1975, and which was a prescribed text for my MPhil course at Pondicherry University way back in 1989. To his last book, The Theory of the Lyric, which was published in 2015. Based on these lectures, we had a memorable session with him at the department yesterday. It was a fascinating exchange where teachers and students engaged Professor Culler on certain aspects of his work that continue to be debated in literary theoretical circles even today. We have not been able to get hold of two of his early books, and Professor Culler has kindly agreed to send them to us as a gift to the department library. Another point I want to make is regarding the presentations. In our initial colloquium flare, we had said that 10 of the best papers would be selected and published in an edited volume with ISBN. We have already received the ISBN number. Of the 80 papers we have received, we have selected 26 for presentation at this colloquium. We will finalize the best 10 only after listening to the actual presentations. Presenters, please note that a copy of each full paper has been handed over to 4 scholars of the department. They are the official discussants who are thoroughly familiar with your paper and will engage you and help you to bring the best out of your papers during the actual sessions. One last point, and I promise I won't say a word more during the next 3 days, except during the question hour. Each plenary has been planned for an hour of presentation followed by 30 minutes of discussion. Each presenter gets 15 minutes followed by 10 minutes of discussion. It's okay if you reduce your presentation time. But the chairs, I hope, will make sure that the question time will remain intact and sacrosanct. For your kind information, the chairs of the plenary and paper presentations and all the scholars of the department have been sent the full papers very well in advance. Today, there are 2 keynotes by Professor Jonathan Culler, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Please do feel free to make the best use of his precious presence along with us. Feel free to interact with him when he's free, but no selfies, please. On behalf of the Kerala State Higher Education Council and Department of Studies, Kannur University, who are jointly sponsoring this event, I welcome all of you once again. Have a great time. Now I invite the Honorable Vice Chancellor to deliver the inaugural address.
Thank you, friends, for coming here, for participating in what I'm sure will be 2 days, 3 days of exciting learning, exchanges, and I hope you will think differently, you will question much of what you've learned in your classroom. Let me first thank Dr. Culler, your head of the department, for taking the initiative and successfully getting Professor Jonathan Culler to Kannur University. So it is a privilege that you have accepted our invitation, and I think we're going to spend 3 or 4 days here, is that so? And he'll be speaking in other colleges also.
Yes, colleges.
So this is the idea behind this EduTech program, that you get a renowned scholar, and the scholar doesn't just deliver a lecture and vanish, but he will be there, he or she will be there to interact with students, with faculty, not just in one institution, but in more than one institution. So I think this is a welcome initiative of the government, and I think this is the first scholar who's coming here under this arrangement. So I'm very happy that Professor Culler is here, but I'm a historian. And as a historian, I've been very scared of literary theory. We also deal with theory. We also think, some of us think we are part of the humanities, some of us think we are part of the social sciences. Many of us think that we are transformative. So, theory and transformative humanities. Which theory are we talking about? Is there a theory? I'm sure there is no one theory, there are many theories. So when we talk about theories, is it some kind of a bounded realm that we are talking about? Or is there something metaphysical called theory, which then informs the humanities, which then becomes transformative? Now all these things have been discussed for a long time, and I go back to Keynes, the economist. When he wrote his general theory in 1936, he said that practical men who believe that they are quite independent of, exempt of any intellectual influence, is usually they are the slaves of some defunct economist. So that's to do with practical men being slaves of economists. Then somebody commented, the economist is usually a slave of some defunct historian. And then we come now to historians and literary theorists I think all literature departments have transformed themselves into cultural studies and so on, across the world, right? So, you are slaves to whom? Now, I think you are slaves to many, many people. From Marx to, I'm not going to read out all the names, but so when we talk about theory and when we talk about the genealogy, the intellectual genealogy that you're going to refer to, I mean, these are some questions. I'm not a student of literary theory, let me make it very clear, but as a historian, I feel when I go to literature departments in my university, in any university, have you read Lyotard, have you read Spivak, have you read so-and-so, Todorov, have you read, so this is, it's a kind of an endless list. No, I haven't read him, no, I haven't read her. So that means I don't know theory? Or do I still know theory if I read somebody else? So how are you going to delimit the so-called theory? Yes, of course theory is necessary. We have to today, I think my theory is that you have to denaturalize things. And we see that and we have to question each tradition. I don't know whether Professor Culler is aware of this or not. We have there's a temple in the state where the deity is supposed to be a celibate deity. Because he's a celibate deity, they said that women who are in the fertile ages cannot go there. So there's been a lot of agitation about this. Now, who made this deity a celibate deity? Who decides whether he's celibate or not celibate? These are all questions of history, questions of tradition, the making of tradition. Who says that a woman having periods is impure? So these are all this is, I think, theory, and we as social scientists or transformative, humanities practitioners have to denaturalize this and emphasize on the construction of tradition. I think once we do that, everything else falls in place. And you might, refer to a variety of theories or some theories, and then see how it goes on. So I think to that extent, so theory is necessary, there's no doubt about it, but then we have to be specific about what theories are we talking about. And is there some kind of a master narrative? Is there some kind of a... Because when I read all these things, I mean, where does Mr. Marx go? Where does Karl Marx go? Because Karl Marx, in a way, comes out with one of the earliest theories, which encompasses many of these subsequent theories. And there are people who came, there was Hegel before Marx, so you have to go to the... but in your 2 years of studying English literature or literary theory, whether in Kannur University or any other university, how much of all this can you possibly do? You can't. I don't think you can look at all this. So how do you, this new, great emphasis on theory, very good, but where do you stop and how do you pick what is to be offered as theory? I think these are some of the questions that come to my mind. I'm sorry, my new job as a Vice Chancellor is not very conducive to intellectual development. I have to go to a meeting and there's an agitation also outside, so I have to attend to those. But I hope Professor Kannur's talk is going to be recorded, and so I will listen to it in the evening when I have time. Thank you very much once again. I don't say release, you should say don't. So release is...
Professor Vice Chancellor, Kannur University. Distinguished Speaker of the Day, Professor Jonathan Culler, Dr. Kunnamal KK, Head, Department of Studies in English, guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great privilege for me to express warm and sincere thanks on behalf of the Department of Studies in English, Kannur University, and all of us here today to Honorable Professor Vice Chancellor, Kannur University, for his esteemed presence amongst us and for presiding over the function. Thank you, sir. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, students, and my colleagues at the university, I convey our deep gratitude and immense thanks to Professor Jonathan Culler for accepting our invitation and consenting to be a part of the International Colloquium. Please join me in expressing our appreciation to Professor Jonathan Culler for taking the time to be with us today to consider the possibilities of possible worlds. Thank you, sir. We are especially pleased to host this international colloquium on possible worlds, theory, and the transformative humanities, jointly sponsored by Kannur University and the Kerala State Higher Education Council. We would like to thank the Kerala State Higher Education Council for sponsoring the erudite lecture, whose enthusiasm and support has allowed so many of us to come together in this groundbreaking exchanges, views, and perspectives. Our special thanks are also due to all the distinguished dignitaries in the audience who spared their valuable time to be with us today. We also express our warm appreciation to the Colloquium Director and Head of the Department of Studies in English and the members of the Colloquium Coordination Committee who have worked hard to make this colloquium happen. Our hope is that this colloquium will not only break new grounds in terms of content, but also provide the platform for the possible worlds to emerge. Thank you.